Okay. Okay, we got it up. Lucky, otherwise I would have missed it. And even the recording was not done, so we would have missed the session. Sometimes, when there is a lot of rush, we end up sometimes missing a few important things. That's why in aviation, you'll be taught that you should never rush. So discipline helps you do that. If you have good discipline, if you do everything on the right time, then you'll realize that you'll be able to do a lot of things comfortably. But if you don't have discipline, if you don't have a proper schedule for things, then you'll have to rush things, and the rush things will make you make mistakes. Rushing things will make you make mistakes. So how do you think a pilot can live such a dynamic life with such ease and peace and always a smile on their faces? It's because of the schedule and the discipline. Basically, when we talk about schedules help you manage your time and work properly. Sometimes people don't like schedules. I'm someone who would say schedules are boring. So if you find schedules to be boring, then you can make double schedule, triple schedules, and you can keep changing between your schedules to have the variety experience. But when you're studying also, you can inculcate the same importance, same strategy in your training phase, which will continue to be in your life, in your minds, in your character as a pilot. So it is very important. It is very nice. And it really helps sticking to the schedule and first making a schedule. So airlines invest making good schedules for you. You have to just follow them. Simple. So your sleeping, eating time, working out time, resting time, all times are pre-calculated, like 3 months in advance, 2 months in advance, and so on. So yeah, if you have no doubts, then we should proceed ahead with today's part. Anyone has any doubt with respect to those calls, takeoff leg? Remember, when we are on runway holding point and we see aircraft either on base leg or on final switching on of landing lights, then we will say it's a pan call only. We'll go by the book. So that one point that I've given you in distress, that aircraft switching on of landing lights on finals, that you'll change and you'll put it back to pan urgency point. Okay, make sure you know this difference. We'll just go by the book. In case you feel that the threat is directly to you, then you can always make a mayday call. So you can keep it in both places. When the part is in distress, you can put an asterisk and like only if the threat is directly to you, like that. If the oncoming traffic is giving a threat to you. Okay, that should be the thing. Second thing I want to talk about, yeah, that call where we did that, we are holding short of the runway, we see another aircraft on base leg, and we say that request permission to enter runway, we will be able to take off before the traffic lands. Now, in that call, we had VIP on board. So a couple of students were asking me that, students, can we do that without having VIP on board? So students, we said VIP on board in that case because in the flight plan, we had VIP on board. Whenever you have a special handling call, it is good that you mention it before departure in every calls and also before arrival in every call. So that is the reason why we said VIP on board. It doesn't mean only you will only enter the runway when you see another aircraft on base, like when only VIP is on board. When any aircraft is on base leg other than glider or other than emergency aircraft, any aircraft on base leg other than glider or emergency aircraft, you can request to enter runway and depart. You have the authority to request for it. If ATC says yes, then you will quickly enter and take off. Remember this point, okay, students? Sajal, please go ahead with your question.
Sir, in wind shear questions, why do we say passing 2,500 feet for 4,000 feet?
See, it is not in wind shear. That is not related to wind shear. That is related to our present phase of flight. And in our present phase, we are climbing. Whenever you have just departed and when you have just take off, remember, you will never maintain a steady altitude for more than a few seconds time. So it's always you are climbing. So whenever you are climbing, you don't have a constant altitude. The moment when you will make a call, you might be passing through 2,500. The moment ATC replies, you might be passing 2,700. By the time you reply back, you might be 3,000. But when you are passing, you are always given one altitude to reach. You always have one destination altitude to reach. So you say, I'm passing 2,500 for 4,000 feet. That 4,000 we had assumed was our first flight level given to us in the ATC clearance. So it's not a part of wind shear that we have said. Whenever you are in a climbing phase, this is how you represent your position. I'm passing this level for my destination altitude. I'm passing this altitude for my destination level. Understand, it's a generic way to talk. It's not related to only wind shear. Is that understood, Sajul and everyone?
Roger, sir.
Whenever you're reporting a call and you're in a climbing phase or a descending phase, all right, you will say passing this for that. That will get you more marks, and that's the best way to message out. Okay, so that's why it is used. Now, one more question I keep getting again and again from students, even though I have repeatedly given the information. Now, the reason could be that you have not got the information thoroughly in your mind. Today, you do that. Okay, what is that information? Is ATC clearance and takeoff clearance the same? Students, no. Have you forgotten what is ATC clearance? ATC clearance can be taken. So what is the difference? ATC clearance can be taken anytime from startup till the point you enter the runway. ATC clearance can be taken anytime before takeoff. What is ATC clearance? Those are set of instructions that you have to comply with to help you reach your cruising altitude. They are instructions to climb and fly initially after takeoff. How will it be equal to takeoff? Now, do you think takeoff clearance can be given to you during startup? But ATC clearance can be given to you during startup. How can a takeoff clearance be given to you when you're in startup? Takeoff clearance would only be given to you when you're entered runway and you're number 1 for departure. So takeoff clearance is, in simple words, simply permission to request for takeoff. Just for takeoff, nothing else. Before takeoff, it's taxi clearance and ATC clearance that you note down. After takeoff, you comply with the ATC clearance. So takeoff is just a phase. We have seen that in landing the available distances of the runways, and takeoff phase I've shown you has a ground roll and an airborne section up to takeoff safety speed. So that is takeoff. A clearance for that is a different phase than the climb phase. You might think taking off means going up to the cruising altitude. No. Takeoff means just taking off, going up to the takeoff safety speed. After that, what you do is just initial climb. So after takeoff is a phase called initial climb, and then cruise, then descend, and then arrival, and then landing. These are the phases. So takeoff clearance and ATC clearance are different. Takeoff clearance can only be requested after you have got ATC clearance. If you have not got ATC clearance and still if you have entered runway, then first take ATC clearance and then request for takeoff. If you request for takeoff before ATC clearance, how will you fly after takeoff? How do you know where to go after takeoff? Do you take a left? Do you take a right? Do you go up? Do you go down? What do you do? You don't know. So how will you take off? That will be a threat to all the aircraft in the vicinity and around. So first, take the instructions, understand what is ATC clearance. Student situational awareness. You are at that point where you cannot risk it. If you just get into the books and if you're just used to learning the books and words, then it's not going to help you. You have to understand and then go by the book. Everyone. Because I keep getting the same students again and asking me the same question. I don't mind answering it again and again. But you need to understand it right now and then make sure you remember it. Getting it, students? And if there comes a confusion that, okay, sir, I knew it, but I came across a solution where I found this as a doubt, share that doubt with me along with the question directly without me asking, where did you get this confusion from? Because you are seniors now. Okay, you're seniors now. Remember. Got it, everyone? Everyone, this is important question. Everyone keeps asking the same question again and again. Request takeoff, cleared for takeoff, ready for departure. Ready for departure is different. You can say ready for departure, request takeoff, then it's a takeoff clearance. Ready for departure, request departure clearance, that is not takeoff. Because departure clearance and ATC clearance are the same things, isn't it given to you? Remember that. Many people will dispute you and fight you and they'll say what they think is right, but no, they are not right. I'm very sure about this thing. Departure clearance, ATC clearance is one and the same thing. It is not takeoff clearance. Takeoff clearance is takeoff clearance. 3 different things. 3 different names, 2 different things. ATC clearance, departure clearance is different. Takeoff clearance is different. Do you understand, students? Yes, no, maybe, everyone. Anyone confused, please discuss. It has to be a Interactive session, students. You have to keep discussing. Ask. Everyone thorough? Good. Any more questions anyone has? Obtain ATC clearance without takeoff clearance. ATC clearance generally without takeoff clearance only, students. They are just confusing you with words. It's one of the questions. It is mentioned take ATC clearance without takeoff clearance. It's just to confuse you. ATC clearance is without takeoff clearance. The only time when ATC clearance will be given along with takeoff clearance is when you have entered the runway and you have not yet obtained ATC clearance. So you quickly request for ATC clearance and takeoff. So they'll say after departure, turn right, turn left, this, cleared for takeoff. Then you'll say after departure, this, cleared for takeoff, Air India 123, and then you will simply take off, and then you will simply comply with the ATC compliance. So see in the question paper what exactly is the situation where you are. If you're on the parking bay and all, then it's just ATC clearance. But if you're on the runway, then this question would be just request for ATC clearance. Don't ask for takeoff yet. So that's why the difference could be given in this question. So always see, if you get such questions, always see where you are and what is applicable. And about ATC clearance, make it clearly known right now, because otherwise you'll always be confused about this topic. Make sure you have clearly entered it in your notes. Don't wait for me to give you whiteboard notes again and again. Whatever important you find, please make those notes. Are we done? Are we doing it? Did you enter it in your notes? Pooja, thanks for the reference. Very nice of you. And students, the more questions you ask, the more doubts you'll be able to resolve. So don't be shy. I never get angry when you ask questions. Sometimes you'll feel I'm a little irate because it's the same question I would have taught you, but you would have missed. Probably because lack of concentration, probably because you got some disturbance around in your house, somebody called your name or you got a call and you missed a couple of points that I said. That's why I say don't make me speak continuously. Please keep talking in between so that you don't miss things, because you might keep getting disturbances here and there, even though you don't want. That happens with me also. People around here and there keep sometimes, people are insensitive that way. They don't realize. And it's okay. I mean, it's natural. We also do that. But if you end up missing a couple of points, which are key points, then it's our loss and we should not have that loss, because we're investing so much of time and money into this training. So why not? Why not take the best out of it? So these are the reasons why I ask you to revise and ask questions, students. You might think you have attended the whole lecture. Even with the 10-second disturbance that you got, you might not know it, but in that 10-second, you would have missed the important point that I just said, that when you're on the runway and if you have still not taken takeoff, if you have still not taken ATC clearance, then how would the call be? So you would have missed that call, students. So remember this, because everything that we learn now is going to help you practically achieve good marks in your examination in the Delhi upcoming session, which is your dream student, most of you. Okay, remember these things, okay, and act upon them. Then talk to me, please. Any more questions? Anyone wants to discuss anything? Hardik, Priyam, nice to see you all. Very nice. Thank you. And please smile, students, when we are learning. RT is interesting. So today we are going to complete our calls related to the ADC circuit. Today we are going to talk about what to do when we have to make calls on finals, something that goes wrong on finals, what to do. So now everybody look at the flight plan. Everyone look at the flight plan. Remind yourselves of the flight plan. Priyam, everyone knows the flight plan. Ayush, Twarita, nobody confused about the flight plan. Anyone? Ayush, nice to see you. Everyone having the flight plan that we were following. So write down. And which is the last question number that we have done? Question number last? 10, 11, 12?
11.
11. Very good. How do we read 11 in RT? We say 1-1. Bhavin, thank you for the flight plan in the chat box. Yes, Port Blair, VOPB, Port Blair. Remember, students, whenever you are learning, when you are practicing, it's handy to keep your charts in hand, all your charts, and it would be better if you keep your location designator file that I have emailed you all. Whoever doesn't have that location designator file that I've emailed, let me know. I'll reshare it. Keep that file handy also to cross-check whatever location designators we get. Although today we are repeating the flight plan, tomorrow onwards we'll change the flight plan. And I think tomorrow, day after, we'll have our mock sessions also. So yeah, 11. Very good. Thanks, Sharvari. Thanks, Bhavin. And students, I was just suggesting in the other class, whenever you're making notes, the new lecture that you're starting, like today is lecture 26, so start it from a fresh page. So your new lecture should be on a fresh page with a nice lecture number written so that it becomes easier in the end. That is one strategy you could use. Now we'll continue question number 12. Okay. You are on finals. Co-pilot increases throttle. Take action. Now, student, firstly, no, you are on finals and your flight plan was from Bangalore to Port Blair. Up to 11 are calls were related to Bangalore Tower. On finals, we are not talking about Port Blair, Bangalore. We are assuming that we have reached Port Blair right now. Now, remember the last call that we had done with respect to flaps stuck. There we had requested to land back at Bangalore. And we said, give us sector and give us this and that. Now, this call is not a continuation of that call. Okay, I'm just making it clear. Otherwise, you'd be thinking, sir, finals, I was just going to land. Is it a continuation? Not a continuation. So question number 11, that was the question, right? So question number 11, Bravo, right? Okay, make that alpha, keep it Bravo. You say flaps working normally, take action. So all that you had said in 11, the request sector will be making a precautionary landing to avoid overweight landing, this and that you will say cancel. And it was a pan call. Here you will cancel pan. So question number 11, Bravo would say pan, cancel pan, Bangalore Tower, Vistara 719er, flaps operating normally, would like to resume normal navigation, present position 25 DME outbound, radial 25, 0, flight level 40, for flight level 70, request further climb to flight level 310, whatever your flight level was, new flight level. Remember, we had requested for a new flight level to get faster departure. Our cruising altitude flight level as per the flight line was 270. But Priya Mayush, try to go through, if you want to cover more topics on these ATC circuits, then you can watch lecture, you can study lecture 24 and 23 also, connected to these topics in your free time whenever you're studying to prepare better. Not that you have not done it in the past, but yeah, if you have the time, you could do it. It's related to the topic. And whenever you're doing a revision based upon watching recordings, then you can just increase the playback speed of the YouTube recordings on it and watch it faster, if that helps. Many students find it faster. 1.25x, they like that speed. Because in class, I speak slow, right? So some people like it fast also. So, okay. So we will assume cancel pan, resuming normal navigation. I'll give you an example of that call. To do, put it in the to do. Not that I'm going to keep it undone. It is important we practice such calls also. But now it is maintaining good continuity. Now we can say you are on finals. In bracket, I'm writing VOPB for your understanding. But understanding the exam, you'll have to decipher by yourself. If the urgency would not have been cancelled, then you were on finals in Bangalore only. Following? Getting it, students? Then you would have been Bangalore only. So always read all questions before answering your question also, so that you can see that, okay, the connecting thing, is it in Port Blair or somewhere else? So we'll do that when we do a couple of question papers. 8th, 9th, 10th. So I'm thinking that today, tomorrow, we should do miscellaneous calls ASAP. And I think after Wednesday, we should start with your part 2. And I'm thinking to do a fast track part 2 for y'all. And I'm thinking that by 20th of August, I don't know, it looks a little difficult, but I'm thinking 20 to 25th of August, at least syllabus-wise, your training should be over. Then only thing pending would be practical. So for Delhi attempts, that's the SLA I'm keeping. Please try to keep up and try to push me also, and I'll try to push you also so that we can meet the target. But anyway, anytime when you give a target like this, always take another extra week in hand, plus minus. So your minus doesn't seem like a possibility plus. So 25 can go up to 30th August, but not more than that. Because September onwards, our exams would come somewhere in the middle of the September, your exams would start. So students like Vishnu who have filled the form earlier, your chances are first, second week onwards, not earlier than that in September. So that should give you good enough time to do a thorough revision also. All right. So that's the SLA. When he was wondering if our syllabus is going to get over or not for Delhi attempt, of course, I'll make sure it is done one way or the other. All right. You'll just cooperate one way or the other. You all cooperate. If you cannot attend extra live sessions, if I'm holding, then of course you watch the recording and get done with it at the earliest. Simple as that. For some students who are working and studying other things. Others, I know you'll not have any problem. And those who are not doing Delhi attempt, prepare thoroughly and then get free for future attempts. Then you'll only have to do timely revisions. You'll not have to attend RT live lectures later on. Right? So that's going to help you that way. It will decrease your burden of everyday lectures. Following everyone. So it will be beneficial. So don't think that, oh, I'll give my exam in October or I'll give my exam in December, so I'll not focus. Just study as with respect to everyone only. Just that you will be free of any pressure. So you're on finals. Copilot increases throttle. Take action. Now, can someone help me and tell me what all the ATCs are available at Port Blair? Drop me your answers in the chat box.
The tower and datas.
Tower and datas only. All right. Cross check. Try to check all charts. Other charts also which have Port Blair to see if any other ATC is mentioned in other charts. Although we were doing chart 5 and 6, a combined chart, check properly. And Port Blair comes under which tower, which control? Hardik, Rishi, Sajil, Sharvari, Pooja. Give me answers. Continue giving me answers. Vignesh.
Chennai control. Chennai.
Chennai control. Very good. Chennai control. Simple. And which FIR? Bhavin, Swarnab, Chennai FIR. Chennai radio, that is. Very good. Simple, right? Good. I think everyone's got very good with chart reading. Huh? These days, I don't get any doubts with respect to chart reading. Very nice. But make sure you keep reading all the charts and cross-checking to see if there are any blind spots that you have missed. It will be better that you do it now compared to the exams. Priyam, all good at your end? Happy to be back with live sessions? Able to give morning time? Good. Very nice. Ayush, how do you feel? Good?
Yes, sir.
Very nice. So Premika should be also joining us. Komal should also be joining us for a little extra coaching. But Komal is doing full-time college, so she cannot attend. Yes, no problem. So what do I do in this call? It's a pretty straightforward and simple call. Okay. Vishnu is asking, how is Port Blair in Chennai control? Vishnu, look at the chart properly. Between the route Chennai and Port Blair, it's clearly mentioned. Flights to call Chennai control. Simple. Whenever an airport doesn't directly fall under the control boundary, blue color boundary, and if there is no other control, still an airport outside the range of the blue boundary can be given the same control. The reception, if possible physically, then of course, yes. Okay, so that's the so there's not a hard and fast rule always that it should be surrounded by blue, because area is such, right? So that's why. I hope that's understood, Vishnu. I understand that was your doubt, right? If it's not in the blue line, then how? But yeah, that's how, the nearest control. So whenever you find yourself not to be in any control, call the next nearest control in which you're entering, or if you have just left another control, whichever is closest to you, talk to that control and see. Just raise the station. How do you raise the station? Chaining control Vistara 719. That's it. And yesterday we learned something new. You might not be given a go ahead in words. I've not yet verified it through official publication, so keep an open mind both. They might just say Vistara 719 Chennai control. It means go ahead only. Or they might say Vistara 719 Chennai control, go ahead. Whatever. Meaning the same. Don't wait for go ahead if they're not saying. If they're just taking your call sign and their call sign, it means it's a go ahead only. If they say standby, then it's a standby. Otherwise, it's go ahead. All right. So how to take the call? Now, same instructions. While you are writing, listen to me and write. While you are writing, listen to me and write. Don't look at the screen. Only look at the screen to see how I'm writing and speaking. Okay? All right. Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, finals, runway 27, experiencing high speed on finals, initiating a Misc approach and go around procedure. ADC reply, Vistara 719er, Port Blair Tower, Roger. That's it. Anything goes wrong on finals, write down note. Anything goes wrong on finals, initiate a missed approach and go around procedure. Now, when I say anything goes wrong, it doesn't mean that dual engine failure, urgency, distress. So urgency, distress will always predominate any other thing. If you are in emergency, then you'll follow emergency procedures. So this goes for non-emergency procedures. So things like you see a vehicle on runway when you're on finals. You see another person on runway when you're on finals. You see another aircraft backtracking when you're on finals. All these are normal calls. Because you are in air, that aircraft is on ground, doesn't matter. There's no risk. You just initiate a missed approach and go around procedure. What is a missed approach go around procedure? It's a standard procedure. It's a standard procedure mentioned, printed in the charts. Those have standard arrival procedures also printed. See, Vishnu, ATC can give you the, Vishnu is asking if wouldn't tower give us altitude to climb and instructions to comply? They can give you the instructions. If they give you the instructions, just give a read back and comply. Otherwise, a standard missed approach procedure and the instructions in that are pre-printed on these arrival charts, which you have to follow as per the print. So that is the meaning of standard procedures. So whenever standard procedures are applicable, ATC will not give you verbal procedures. So ATC clearances also have standard procedures mentioned. They are called standard instrument departures. And arrival clearances are also called as standard arrival procedures. Standard instrument actually. So if you're following a standard, then you only have to look at the chart and keep complying. ATC will keep saying Roger, Roger, Roger. So here ATC will not tell you anything. If you're a training flight, if you don't have instruments procedures, then ATC will tell you to maintain 2000 for runway and then do something. Then you proceed with respect to that. Sajal, sorry, Swarnab, go ahead.
Sir, whenever we are on runway finals and see a person on the runway, that time we also get any distress call also like that, and then we will take the missed approach.
Wait. You're on runway or you're on finals? Two different things.
Finals.
Missed approach go around procedure.
Oh, that time not I've given any distress call, mayday like that, nothing.
No.
Oh, okay.
If you see anything on the runway when you're on finals and when you don't have any emergency, only then. When you have an emergency, then as per the emergency, make a pan call or a mayday call. Understood?
Roger.
Is your doubt understood?
Roger.
Question?
Victor Tango, Sierra Romeo Tango.
Yeah. Bhavin, nice to see you. Any questions on this, students? Understood, right, Swarnab?
Understood. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think Harsim has a disconnection. Harsim, are you there? Are you there on YouTube? Harsim? Let me know on WhatsApp, Harsim, wherever you are. Next note, right? Use the same intent for similar calls as mentioned below. So I'm giving you similar questions. The intent would be the same, and I'd ask you to make a couple of calls and send me to see if you have understood, okay? Finals is a very easy call. Like I said, even if you see another aircraft backtracking, and if you are on finals, then there is no threat. Just a missed approach and go around procedure is fine. Question would be, you are on finals, see a vehicle, man, animal, aircraft, backtracking on runway. Same answer. Just that why are you calling would change. Just that why are you calling would change. So for the first option, Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, finals runway 27. Accidentally, I said 27. Don't get confused thinking it's the same runway of Bangalore. Okay, pause. Chances are they both could have same runways. So it's not like it's not impossible. Just don't think I've used the same runway. Just a coincidence. So Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er on final, see a man or see a person on the runway, initiating missed approach and go around procedure. Simple. Okay. Another animal, you're on final, see a animal, bullock. Shit. I don't know when was the last time I said bullock, I guess. Yes. See an ox, a cow, a bullock, a dog, birds, anything on the runway. How is it? Can someone pronounce? Is it bullock? How do you say Bullocks? Bullocks? What is it? I've forgotten it. I don't know when was the last time I said it out. Anyone? Come on, students. Teach me something. Vishnu? Vishnu, read you 3. Vishnu, you're making more difficult.
I was trying with Google.
Okay, pronunciation. Yes. Okay, good. Smart.
Sir, it's bullock.
Bullocks. Okay. Bhavin?
Bullock. Yes, sir, it's bullock.
Bullocks. Okay, bullocks. I think we used to call it bullocks. I think in school Indian schools pronunciations you cannot say they are as accurate as British, Australian, or English, American English, but ours is our English. And do you know, Indian English is also recognized these days. So even if you're making mistakes, you can be okay with it because that's now an Indian English. So if anybody judges you saying your pronunciation has Indianism in it, then you say because I follow Indian English. You can simply say that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. Otherwise, in professional settings, Indian uses, Indianisms is a big no-no to recruit you in case they are going to judge you on English voice and accent also. So we encourage wherever we think that's going to happen, we encourage students to not use Indianisms, Indian English basically in professional settings. But yeah, anyway, coming back, any animal you see, if you see any name given of the animal, you can simply say animal. Podle Tower, Vistara 719er, finals runway 27, see an animal on runway, initiating missed approach and go around procedure. That's it. Vistara, correction, Podle Tower, Vistara 719er, finals runway 27, see another aircraft backtracking on runway 27, initiating missed approach and go around procedure. Anything like that. But if that thing is connected with your emergencies, then just say Mayday and Pan and do it. Of course, you cannot land even if you have emergencies and cannot land right now when somebody is there. Yeah, so remember that, okay? Anything that goes on finals. And see here also in this example that I've given you, here they're saying Copilot has increased the throttle. If I don't give you this example in writing, then what will you do? You will follow instructions and your instructions have taught you to take a call like this. Tell me if I'm wrong. Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, on finals, runway 27, Copilot has increased throttle, initiating missed approach and go around procedure, right? That's how you'd be taking the call, right? You're not wrong. 80 to 90% of the times you have to do the same. But here, in this situation, like I said, don't name the animal, just say animal. Don't say man or woman, just say person. Because from a distance, it's difficult to spot what it is actually. First thing. Okay. Second thing here, Copilot increased throttle. There are no blame games in aviation. We don't do that. Okay, we share responsibility. So the meaning of Copilot increasing throttle is that aircraft is experiencing high speed. So that high speed related question can also come that you are overspeeding on finals, take action. Now, overspeeding term we don't use much in aviation, but in the questions if they give you, I am expecting you all to be aware of the situation and do the same. You should know overspeeding could be done by you also as a PIC. So you should be like Bangalore, correction, Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, finals runway 32, experiencing high speed. So experiencing high speed, initiating missed approach and go around procedure. Simple. Are you understanding, students? Are you following?
From Victor Tango, Sierra Romeo Tango.
Sajal Puja, how about you? Good. So remember, okay, don't just focus on these terms. They have multiple meanings, multiple applications. So be aware, situation awareness. Remember, what is situational awareness? Being aware of what is happening and what I'm doing completely. That is situational awareness, students. All right. Any questions on finals? Think about it. Simple calls. Vishnu, I like what you have written for blocks, but yeah, thanks. Now, one more question. You are on finals. You fail to get 3 greens. One second, okay? 1 second, students. Okay, you are on finals. You failed to get 3 greens. Okay. Now, fail to get 3 greens also mean all 3 landing gears are not adequately extended out in the landing configuration. Now, students, what is landing configuration? This is the landing configuration right now. The aircraft's main landing gears, 1 right and left, and nose landing gear, 3. There are 3 individual units. During flight, after takeoff, you retract them. Retracting means they go back into the aircraft, and the aircraft is very streamlined then. You don't see all that in the air. You just see this part that my hand is covering right now, right? That is what you see. Correct, students? Now, when you're ready for finals at the time during long finals or whenever you're trained for the respective flight, okay? During your landing, before your landing, there are many things that you look forward. You extend your flaps again. During landing also, your flaps are extended only, students. So you extend your flaps to the landing setting. There is a special landing setting. Then there are air brakes that you will extend and activate on the wings. What are air brakes or speed brakes? If time permits, I'll show you what they are. And then you will also extend your landing gears. When you extend the landing gears in the cockpit, from the cockpit, how do you know if the landing gears are successfully out? You get 3 green indications, 3 lights, like there's a traffic signal. On top of each other, there are 3 lights. Similarly, there are 3 traffic signal like lights, only small, little circular lights. So when the gear is extend inside the aircraft, it should show you some different color or it should be off depending upon the aircraft. But when the landing gears are out, it should always show you green. So that is 3 greens. Now, when you don't get 3 greens, then there is a possibility that one of the landing gear is not extended correctly. If that landing gear is not extended correctly, then during landing, where will the aircraft land on? The landing shocks, only your wheels are designed to take those shocks. And the wheels are connected with shock absorbers. We call them oleos or shock struts in aviation. They're just like shock absorbers. So if a landing gear is not out, it means a shock absorber is not going to be there. So if that heavy landing shock absorbing equipment is not there, then the aircraft can break, crash, have any fatal problem. So in that situation, landing is not suggested. Then you'll have to do some genius way of precautionary landing. You must have all seen videos where one person had taken their truck, landing aircraft, and in the back of the truck, the pilot had landed the nose wheel and then the aircraft had landed. And I think someone and recently has done that in India also. I did not read the whole article, but I just saw the headline. And I was like, wow, did something similar happen in India also? Very nice. Priyam, are you there? I think SpiceJet. I'm not sure. Is it SpiceJet or Indigo? One of those two only, if I remember. Anyone read that? No one? So yeah, anyway, sometimes this could be a problem. This could be a problem. Not getting 3 greens is an indication of that. So in such situations, you are not sure. There are 2 chances. Either the landing gears are not out or the indicator is faulty. Understand? Sometimes the indicator can also be faulty, right? In aviation, most of the times you have to assume that the indicator can also be faulty. Students, are we following? We have a question. Will questions come from Papi lights also? You put it in your parking lot, Likhit. If time permits, we'll talk about them also. It's always good to be ready for other topics. Generally, they don't come. Generally, questions will not come. PAPI, precision path indicator light, something like that. But put it in your parking lot and share it with me. Okay? Papi lights. Why not? Runway lights, you cannot see runway lights on descent. What do you on finals? You cannot see runway lights. What do you do? Initiate, miss approach, and go around procedure. Simple, same thing. So what I've put as asterisks over there, I have written the asterisks. Don't get 3 greens. Also mean all 3 landing gears are not adequately extended out in the landing config. So what do you do in this case? Look at the call. Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, finals, runway 27, suspecting landing gear malfunction, request low pass for visual check. Airbus 320, passenger on board 180. Hardik, look at the call. Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, finals, runway 27, suspecting landing gear malfunction, request low pass for visual check. This is something new. Request low pass for visual check. What is low pass, students? Now look at just, we will first write down ATC reply. Hardik, quickly write down the call. Everyone, have you written down the call? Nicely. Easy to understand. Just low pass is what we need to know. What is low pass? Okay. ATC will say Vistara 719er, Roger, maintain 2000 feet, runway heading for low pass. Port Blair Tower. Your reply would be maintaining 2000 feet, runway heading, runway 27 for low pass visual check, Vistara 719er. Generally, in the exams, your call would not be, such calls would not be stretched more ahead than this much. So you don't have to worry about what will happen later. In case they stretch, you know how to, you just have to talk. But right now, this much will be enough. Now, what is low pass? So see, this is runway 27. Okay, from here, the aircraft is here. And the aircraft realizes that the landing gear probably are not out. 3 greens, I cannot see 3 greens. So what do I do? So I say you request for a low pass. So you're going to land like this, right? So instead of that, you would do a flight like this, parallel to the runway, like this. Fly low, but along the runway so that the ATC can visually spot and see if you have any damage on the external side of the aircraft, or at the landing gears or anything involved. So this is low pass. At present, we have been given 2000 feet maintaining the runway heading. So instead of the descent, the aircraft will continue maintaining this. That is low pass. Got it, students? What is low pass? If you want anything to be checked visually by the ATC, you can request for a low pass. Low pass will mean flying along the runway only, over the runway only, like this, nicely. Remember what is low pass. Now, anything related to low pass, if you get, just make a simple call, okay? It's not like low pass will be only associated with this. But when we learn in calls, then low pass will only come in this call. It doesn't come anywhere else. We have another question. So do we have short forms for malfunction, visual check, low pass? Negative. Check, of course. Check, CHK. That's it. You can simply, instead of malfunction, you can say suspecting landing gear stuck also. Or suspecting landing gear problems also. Whatever you want to say. There's no such a phrase given to problems or malfunction. So you can use any common word that is applicable. Suspecting landing gear stuck. Stuck or malfunction, same, applies. No short form, but check, of course, CHK. Low pass, no. Got it, students? Any doubts, any questions? Sharviri, Twaita, you following? Haven't heard your voice. Pooja, haven't heard your voice. See, I have told you all, encourage, talk to me. I should at least hear your one call or two calls or something or the other. Come on, students, talk. I have heard Sajal's voice, Swarnam's voice, Vishnu's voice, Hardik's voice. Others have not spoken much. Likit, I think, has spoken. That's it. So do it, students. Keep talking, keep discussing. Understand? It should not be that I am speaking and you are taking. It should be like I'm sharing information and you're learning. Remember, that's how the agenda should be. That's how I like to learn and teach. Got it, students? Yeah, very nice. Anyone missed any point so far? Go through your notes quickly. Study it again, once again, nicely, because we won't have much time to revise later on. So whatever you're learning, learn it right now, properly, thoroughly. See if you have any doubts. Don't keep it for later now. Anything on finals? Now, one more call I'm going to give you related to this. 14, right?
1-5.
Yes, 1-5. After 14, 1-5. Unable to see runway at DH. Take action. What is DH? Note. DH stands for decision height. Height during landing at which pilot makes the final call to whether land the aircraft or initiate a missed approach or cancel the landing. Whenever you cancel the landing when you are about to land, it just means initiating missed approach only. That's the way to cancel landing. Okay, so decision height, now that decision height will vary from different aircraft to aircraft. Certain aircrafts have decision height of just 50 feet only, while certain aircrafts will have a decision height of to 300 feet. These are called category of aircrafts: Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, Cat 3A, Cat 3B, Cat 3C. So higher the category, lesser the restrictions of IFR or VFR. But we'll not talk about category, but yes, put it in the parking lot. Cat 1, 2, 3, to do. Please put it in a parking lot. I might forget and you might miss out. So I'm directly telling you on face. Okay, this is extra, not a part of RT, but extra that could help you to do a description of this category of aircrafts. Decision height and visibility is how they are categorized. Certain aircrafts, they can land in zero visibility also and a very low decision height also. So most jetliners are like that. Smaller aircrafts cannot land. So yeah, we'll see that. Okay, so at decision height, if you see something, it's just like a call on finals only. So if a decision height, you cannot see the runway, it means bad weather, bad visibility. It's weather, of course. What could it be? Vishnu, do you think the runway got disappeared? Some magic act?
No, sir. In the written note, it's the other weather, like WEA.
Oh, that way. Pilot makes to fire makes high during landing at which pilot makes the final call. Wait, okay, sorry. I'm just like writing like a doctor, huh? Makes the final call to WETHER, whether land the aircraft or initiate a missed approach or cancel the landing. Sorry, you meant this weather and I meant the other weather. I thought you were asking, sir, why can I not see the runway? Is it due to weather? I'm like, yeah, it's due to weather. Okay, I'll try not to make such mistakes. Happen sometimes. When you sleep less, when you work more, it happens. That's why I suggest adequate rest is also important. Okay, students? Whenever you think you're saturated, you can miss a session and rest. You can cover up the session later also. I'm that flexible because I understand the importance of rest. Okay. So when you feel like, oh, I'm getting too much and I cannot understand, then don't waste your time in the lecture then. Just sit, relax, watch a movie, go for swimming, get wet in the rain, or just do something else that you like. Right? Because you're a good student, so you deserve that. So what to do in this call? Let's see. Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, unable to see runway at decision height, initiating missed approach and go around procedure. Students, try to write down what I'm dictating and what I'm giving in calls, just listening to my voice, okay? That's why I'm also not focusing much on how I'm writing it, because I understand and I'm expecting that you'll focus on my voice more. Roger. Port Blair Tower, simple. You might be thinking, sir, we need more complicated responses from ATCs. We'll do that in mock sessions. Right now, what is more important is to be able to frame the initial call. Once we are done with the ability to frame initial calls for the variety of topics, then in practice, we talk about continuity. Any doubts, students?
Negative, sir.
Okay, fine. Let's do this call. You have landed. Take action. Now, landed and arrival report are a little different calls, but they are also the same calls. Now, the rule is that after landing, you have to immediately give your arrival report to the concerned air traffic service authority. So that arrival report you have to give. What is the report, arrival report like? It is just like any other report. Okay. So what the call that I'm going to show you is just like a part of arrival report only. Take action, that is give arrival report. Now, arrival report could be mentioned in the call, could not be mentioned in the call. Now, when you learn rules of the air, it is said in rules of the air that if you fail to give arrival report because of RCF or because of lack of facilities after landing, then it's your duty to contact the relevant ATC or the nearest ATC and inform them about the arrival through the quickest possible means available at your hand. It could be as good as a telephone number and a phone call also. So if you don't have aircraft, if you don't have ATCs at places that you have landed, then simply once you are out, just get the number from somewhere and call them and tell them I've landed. Inform them one or the other way. So if these questions are asked to you, remember this point, okay? You have landed, take action that give arrival report. Let's do this call quickly. Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, landed, Port Blair, runway 27 at 1630, Airbus 320, IFR, Mangalore to Port Blair, passengers on board 180, request taxi to apron. Now this arrival report and request taxi to apron is subjective to whether you need taxi or whether you are giving a report after you are parked at a parking bay. Now, of course, on a busy aerodrome, like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, and of course, Trivandrum also, I would say. And there are a few more, Nagpur, I would say. So these airports will require taxi clearance, but certain smaller airports, very smaller airports, pilots might be just going onto the parking bay by themselves only after landing, or maybe as instructed by ATC. Anyway, taxi back to apron makes sense to request from ATC, even when you are a student pilot. But it is not necessarily a part of your landing call, but after that, you have to request for taxi. So why not include it in the same call? So request taxi not necessarily is a part of your arrival report, but everything else is a part of your arrival report. Now, if you want to give an arrival report, you could make a call like this also. Or Port Blair Tower, Vistara 719er, arrival report, Vistara 719er, landed Port Blair, runway 27 at 1630, Airbus 320, IFR, Chennai to Port Blair, passenger on board 180.
IFR Mumbai to Bangalore to Port Blair, no?
Yeah, VOBL, my bad. Thank you. Good awareness. Students, sometimes I do make mistakes on purpose to see if you're having that awareness, okay? Although this was not on purpose, but I liked how students you are giving me. Very nice. I like that. Very good. Got it, students? Understood? If specifically they ask you to give arrival report, you can give the report and you can request for ATC correction, for request for taxi also. Okay, not ATC clearance. After landing, there's no ATC clearance, all right? They'll be like, you've just landed. Why do you want to fly again? At least get your fueling done. Like, where are you taking the passengers? Come on, they were meant to land here. The guests have, the family and friends and people have come to pick them up. Where you're taking them? We're like, I'm the pilot. I'll take them somewhere. I don't want to land at Port Blair. No, no, that doesn't happen. Okay, students. You know, once we were doing some maintenance on the aircraft, and I've shared this experience with few students in the past. Back then, the only clearance I had with that aircraft was to just operate the RT, okay, radio telephony. So I was not in the control of the cockpit controls. And what we were doing with respect to that, I was assisting the engineers. My role was to just assist the engineers with RT because they didn't have the RT license. All right. So they could not talk on RT without the RT license, but they had to do something of their own only. So what they were checking, they were doing some maintenance on the nose wheel steering. Okay. So this nose wheel also has steering in the cockpit. Right and left, it can turn. Right and left, it can turn, just like wheel steering. So I was very young, okay, and for me everything was new, and I was very happy, and I was always quiet because they used to talk so much. Engineers were so dynamic; they were just like another pilots only, senior engineers, okay, and they were very aged and just like pilots, okay, because they are certified with aircrafts like Airbus 330 and 777. I'm talking about the fleet of Jet Airways, the one of the biggest aircrafts that we have. Airbus 330, Boeing 777. So they could just operate it so smoothly and nicely. It's a different feeling. And that's when, we were doing this. I think we were doing it for Boeing 737. I think some of the Sahara aircrafts that Jet Airways had bought Sahara. If you all don't know, Jet Airways had bought Sahara also. Sahara had an airline. So most of the Sahara aircrafts were with Jet Airways. Jet Airways. It's like that. And Kingfisher had taken Deccan. So if you know Deccan, Kingfisher would not have taken Deccan, then Deccan would have still survived. It's like that. But Deccan still operates charters and helicopters, but not commercial airplanes anymore. Anyway, you're too young to know about these people, but these way people were in trend when we were at your age. Give and take 2-3 years. Anyway, what I'm talking about is I remember that day. So we took the other runway, diagonal runway. We were on Mumbai, and we had taken the inactive runway in the afternoon. We are not getting the clearance because of departure and arrivals to practice. Eventually, when we got the clearance, I was in the co-pilot seat, and the engineer was in the pilot seat, and the other engineer was in the third seat on the door. So after the RT was done, they gave me the handle things, and they said that they wanted the other engineer also to sit there. So I got into the third seat, but I had my RT equipment and all over there, and I had the handheld mic to communicate. So I was communicating, and they were doing the check. So the problem was the aircraft, while on thrust, was going on the left again and again. Steering problems. Steering problems are those problems when you leave it free, the vehicle should go straight. That is what it is. If it doesn't go straight, it's a steering problem. So similar problem happens in aircrafts also. So it's difficult for the pilot, right? Again and again, adjust. During takeoff, it's not safe. And the problem was reoccurring again and again. So now as a pilot, you can only report the problem to engineers in your pilot defect log or pilot defect report book. There is a logbook that you can fill or update after every landing if you've experienced any defects in your aircraft. And the engineers automatically after the aircraft has land will come, and they will, one of the first things they will do is check the PDR, pilot defect record book or logbook. All right. If they check pilot has reported this, then they will work on it. Simple as that. That's how they communicate without having to verbally communicate with each other. All right. So this is airline experience, which will never be taught till the time you get into an airline. Okay. It is like that. So we were doing it. So what I'm trying to share with you is that, at time when I was sitting at the co-pilot seat, initially we were trying the steering at a lower speed, okay, 20%, 30%, and then 35%, 40% thrust, basically. And it was okay. We could feel the thrill. And it was one of my first times when I was sitting in an aircraft like that, okay. So, you don't feel the thrill unless you come up to a certain speed. So we came up to 50, 55. So there are testing speeds, okay, that the engineers have to maintain, and they're trained onto that. And remember, the engineer and the pilots at the moment, the same thing, because pilots would also do the same thing, engineers would also do the same thing. That is, increase the thrust and move the aircraft on ground at 50%, 60%. Other than pilots, only few people are allowed to do that. Okay. And the engineer was doing it. So close to flying the aircraft, understand? Then what happened, students? You won't believe. 50, 55, when we reached up to that point, they would not increase it beyond that, but the engineer wanted to try. So they would check, then they would perform some task, then they would check again, they would perform some task and check again whether what we have done has fixed the issue or not, whether what we have done has fixed the issue or not. So we had to do that again and again, again and again. After a gap of 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 40 minutes, depending upon what kind of adjustment they were doing to the landing gear and the nose. So there came a point when I remember I was sitting in the co-pilot seat, and although I had the joysticks with control sticks with me, and that's when I was communicating there. Me and my engineer looked at each other, and we thought, why not just take off? Imagine, there was no flight plan. Remember, okay, I'm sharing it on record with everyone. He didn't say that, I didn't say it, but we both felt it. Okay, that's how we communicated. And the third engineer was not there in the cockpit. I remember just two of us were there, and I was not even certified by then to taxi that aircraft by my hand. My certification was only limited to operating the radio telephony equipment. And I was like, we can take off, but how would we land? That was what I was thinking. Trust me, I like, we can take off, but how would we land? And I like, take off to ho jayega, landing kaise karenge? And all that happened, and it's just short distance, it's not much. The aircraft is building the thrill, and you can see the endless sky in front of you, and you have been dreaming to do that since long time. And today, out of good luck, you have got this experience and this opportunity, and you're just like one step ahead. Although you'll never come back, at least you'll take off and fly. That was the feeling. And oh my god, I'll never forget that day. And it was so beautiful. It felt like we had flown, because if we felt that thrill, and if we would have flown, then we would have been criminals basically, and you would have not seen me here today. So although some students wanted me to take off, if I would have I thought everything instantly. Even if I survive after landing, the world will not spare me. And even if I make a successful landing, we will be recognized as terrorists. So all those came into our mind, and we could not do it. But yeah, that was good. All that you had to do was just increase the throttle a little bit, get into the takeoff settings, flaps and everything, and just know what is VR, just know the calculations of runway length and all 3-4 things. If you could have calculated, then it would have been a safe takeoff. So it's not just if you don't calculate, you'll be able to take off, students. Even then, we thought we could calculate. We didn't have all those calculations at hand. We didn't know everything. No ASDA, all that calculations were not made because we were not prepared for departure. Are you getting it? But that feel over there, that was irresistible. All you had to do, just lift off. It felt so easy. So yeah, it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And one way or the other, students, if you keep growing one step ahead, keep doing your thing, you'll see aviation will keep giving you some or the other opportunity till the time you reach your ultimate goal. So always be on the lookout of that. Also keep learning. There's no work is small work, right? So for you, anything that can help you going till the time you get a job as a pilot in future, you should grab that opportunity and enjoy and learn. Simple as that. Okay. So that being said, students, remember these points on finals, decision height, takeoff, runway, base leg, everything nicely, thoroughly. We will wrap up the session now. Tomorrow, we are going to do all miscellaneous calls. We'll describe what is sector flying properly with respect to other applications. We'll do passenger announcement call, and I'll show you all other miscellaneous calls. And then I think tomorrow, after that, day after tomorrow, I'll keep the mocks. When I'm doing the mock, we might extend our lecture for a couple of for more 30 minutes. So Wednesday, I'm thinking probably we'll stretch lecture till 1:30. So that's the idea. And then I have to reshare the schedule with you all from next onwards. So probably 11th, 12th, we had to give an off. We were wondering because of Rakhi. So anyone who wants a leave on Rakhi is busy, just drop me a message. If you all are not busy, then we might not do it and we might continue learning. Okay, that's the reason I'm asking. And anyway, I have to give you all a weekly break. But because it was Sunday, so I think this is a better strategy to give you schedules midweek onwards. We can actually accumulate more days. So with respect to time commitments, if anybody wants anything, just drop me a message for the next week. And remember what we are going to do tomorrow and day after. And make sure if you get time, thoroughly revise everything with RT so that you can discuss and practice your doubts and calls live in the session with me. Okay? Target first week of September. If not your exams, then one-on-ones with me. But you have to clear one way or the other, everyone. Okay? Any questions? Anyone? Good. Very quiet class today. Only Vishnu kept correcting me every now and then. Thanks, Vishnu, for that. Others, please keep talking. Feel confident. It's your class. If you need anything else, just drop me a message, make me a call. If I'm not reachable, not answering, just spam me with back-to-back calls and attention will be got. We'll get the attention and we'll get back to you ASAP. Okay? Monday, keep it light. Do study, do revise, practice. All right? And I forgot to mention, I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention, frame your calls based upon question number 13. Take any one thing. Okay, any one thing. Frame it and send me a call whenever you can. Okay. Second thing, when you want to leave on Rakhi, give me the date also, because I've heard some people are celebrating it on 11th, some people are celebrating on 12th. I don't know. So let me know the dates also. Whenever, if any student needs leaves, give me the date also. Is it 11th or 12th or whatever the period of dates is? Especially Delhi students, okay? Especially Delhi students. This is homework. One call. Whenever you can, do. And if possible, do a voice recording of your live call, write it, and then send the voice note and then send the picture of the call also. Live. Don't record after writing. I'll get to know. Bhavin, I started doing it. Bhavin, well done. I like that you use that strategy. So whenever I'm giving you a task like that, do that if you want to really practice. You can also listen your calls and judge. I can also listen your calls and give you areas of improvement. Okay? Got it, students? I really want to, I'll just tell you, I really want to make a self-functioning application which makes all these things easier. But trust me, it's very difficult for me to get everything done quickly on my own. So if there is anyone in the class who is good with developing applications or management, just let me know your skill set so that in future, if there's a little thing that I could use with your help, then I'll do that. And of course, you'll end up making some money also. Okay. So do let me know about that, students. Okay. So that is done. Anything else that I want to tell you all? No, just revise at least once before yesterday, before tomorrow, before yesterday, Vishnu, I'm sorry. Before tomorrow. And let me know if you'll have any questions. Only miscellaneous calls are left, a few calls here and there. And I think tomorrow, after tomorrow's class, I should be sending you the solved papers and whatever material we have a little bit that could help you. And yeah, that's it. So I'll see you when I see you. And navigation students, just stay back for 5 minutes. Others can just leave. All right. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone else. Navigation students, just 5 minutes, wait back. I have some message to give you all.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome,
you, sir.
everyone.
Yes, sir.
Most welcome.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
So we have Hardik, Twarita, Jyotsna, Likit, Rishi. Okay, Likit. Okay. Hardik, Rishi, Jyotsna. Hardik, Likit, Jyotsna, Rishi, Twarita. Okay. So, okay. So where are we on our Keith Williams? Done. Twarita, have you started solving? Have you gone through lecture 1 and 2? Twarita, first you tell me quickly.
No, sir, not yet. I've taken a short break yesterday. I'll do
today-
it today.
Today do it. Today do it. Lecture 1 and lecture 2. You start with that. Okay. So Jyotsna, Likit, how about you? Keith Williams, have you started solving? Likit, are you there?
Sir, I started, but I have to do more.
Sorry, say again.
I started, but I have to do more.
You have to do more. Good, good, good. So today we are planning to let you finish Keith Williams. So Hardik and Rishi, what's your update? How much is left?
So I'm on question 86.
of CX3. And after that, point of no return, PE, point of safe return, point of equal time, and then great circle. Those also we have to solve after CX3 is done. Rishi, what about you?
Sir, I'm on question 46.
46. Okay. Okay. Jyotsna, exactly where you are. Great circle done. Great circle, 25 questions. Okay. Okay. All right. Likhi, do you remember question number where you are exactly? Likhi?
Stand by, sir.
Yeah, standing by. No problem. Where is Harsim? Okay, Likhi, tell me quickly.
Sir, completed 1/60 rule and starting with great circle, sir.
Question number, I think 1/60 in Keith Williams, is it separately given or is it in CX3? The first question set is CX3, right? Like CRP5 in that.
You send it separately, 1/60 question.
No, that is different assignment. I'm talking about Keith Williams textbook sent. We have to start solving practice questions from that question booklet also. Do you not have it?
I have it, sir.
Yeah, so you start CRP5 sum. CRP5 means CX3 only. That is analog and this is digital. So start solving those and make a separate notebook for Keith Williams sums. Okay, Likit?
Okay.
And start practice solving in sequence. Today you do at least 20. If you don't have it, tell me. Hardik, reshare it, please. Hardik, you're quick at sharing it. I'll reshare it with Likit just on standby. Okay, so 2 to 5 students, we are not meeting live, but finish this task and report at 5 o'clock. Will you do that?
Okay, sir. Yes.
Twarita, you will finish your lectures. And if one is short, then you can try to do the second also. You can take a little extra time, take a break. Jyotsna, Rishi, please get onto it, finish as much as you can. You don't have to sit exactly for 3 hours. You can take a break in between, but not more than 15 minutes break. Okay? So make sure you're doing it for 2 hours and 45 minutes non-stop. Non-stop, get into the zone and do it. I would have made you do it in the class and I would have sat in the teacher's chair and just given you an overview. Got it? So while during you're doing this, if you come across any doubts, keep sharing them with me. If I can solve anything live, I'll solve it live, call you or text you, or we can put that in the parking lot. All right? Will you do it with interest? Rishi, how much have you
Yes,
missed?
sir.
Only Twarita is saying yes. Likit, Hardik, Jyotsna, Rishi, are you thinking of doing something else in the free time? No, you have to study. Please, you have to study. You don't do that. Stick to the schedule, okay? You have to give that time to navigation. So, Rishi, which lecture have you missed, Rishi? Okay, fine. Rishi, first do it and then solve it. Little extra work you'll have to do, okay?
Oh, okay, sir.
But do both the things. Finish that Miss lecture and then send me an update on this. I want you all to maximize the time and reach close to finishing as much as you can. I want you all to finish it ASAP. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, chalo. Send me a report. Don't make me ask for the report, okay? Send me a report by 5 o'clock how much you have done. Sit for good 45 minutes, 2 hours to do it, okay? Nicely get into the zone and sit and solve. You'll get a lot of questions and a lot of doubts. That will show us how much you have understood and how much is still missing. That is the idea. Okay? The more you can solve, good. The more you cannot solve, better. We'll figure out the problems and then those problems will not repeat in the exams. Okay? Just one-off bonus to you. Make sure you make the most of it, students. Chalo. Any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. All the best, and I'll see you. And do report nicely, timely. Okay, chalo. Bye, everyone. Thank you for
Thank you,
waiting.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank
Bye,
you.
sir.
Bye.